Greetings. Welcome to today's presentation. Today's topic is developing Jamaica through the tourism industry. And today's subject is having a division of CHEC in the four quarters of Jamaica to fix the parochial roads, including a division in St. Elizabeth to serve the three southwestern parishes of Jamaica. We'll be discussing the above topic in today's presentation. First, I'm making a request for you to support this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing today's video. Also, feel free to take part in any discussions below. The three southwestern parishes that are in these presentations are more than a quarter of Jamaica in size and just under 20% of Jamaica's population. But they are the only parishes in Jamaica which are more than 1 hour's drive away from an international airport. They are St. Elizabeth in the middle, which need the airport, and the other two are Westmoreland and Manchester. One government study showed that there were over 700,000 people in Jamaica who are not working or seeking employment. Some time ago, I heard one economist said some of those people prefer to hustle on the streets, selling fruits, sweets, and other products rather than for work for minimum wage at that time. However, with the large increases in minimum wage over the past 2 years, I think some of those people who are hustling on the streets would now welcome a minimum wage job. The tourism industry would provide a wonderful opportunity for these Jamaicans who are surviving by hustling from day to day to survive. The other problem is that the all-inclusive hotels need to spread around Jamaica, not just in a few hotspots on the North Coast. Those same people need the opportunity locally where they can go to work, even if it's for minimum wage, but at the end of the day, they can go back home to their families. Then a lot of those people will take up a job opportunity in the tourism industry. I think another crucial issue to look at is that the people are selling those products locally, meaning that they can go home to their families after they finish their days hustling. Most of the 700,000 people of working age in Jamaica who are not seeking formal employment will not leave their communities to go and work anywhere. Some would not even go abroad to work if they had the opportunity, never mind going to a faraway parish in Jamaica to work for minimum wage. And of course, they have their various issues. Some is because of their children or their families. Some is house or land issues. And other reason why they wouldn't leave their community to go and work anywhere else. However, they would welcome working in the hotel and tourism industry if it's in their parish or if they can take a 30 minutes taxi drive to work and back each day. People cannot survive on their own if they are asked to leave their families on the South Coast to go and work on the North Coast for minimum wage. How would they pay their rent and bills on minimum wage? However, if those jobs were 30 minutes or less from their home, then they could travel to work by taxi and get back home after work each day. And I'm saying this to say that because we know that there's a shortage of tourism workers on the North Coast, particularly in Montego Bay, and maybe now in Hanover as well, and probably Utrecht. So there's always a shortage. They can't get workers to work in tourism industry. So it looks like there's too much hotel in Jamaica. But that's not the case. The case is that all the hotels are built in one place. And people cannot leave where they live to go and work in Montego Bay because they can't afford the rent. But bring those hotels in Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, rural Manchester, and there will be a lot of idle hands who are willing, especially ladies, who are willing to work in those hotels, especially young ladies. I have personal experience because I'm a landlord as well in St. Elizabeth, Black River, and I've seen a lot of young girls who came to work in the bars, in the local hairdressing saloons, them, which is a little shock. Looking for places to rent, but they can't pay rent with those jobs. So um, you know. But anyway, if they have opportunity, so if they can take up those jobs, if they take up jobs in some local small bars, small nightclubs, small local hair salon, if people are taking up those jobs, and some of these people, these young girls, they are from like other towns in St. Elizabeth, so they leave like 5 miles where they live, come to Black River to work in those little small little thing that they can't make ends meet. That tells me that if they had opportunity to work in like a hotel industry, they would grab it, with both hands quickly. So the government need to put the hotel industry around Jamaica. Okay. And then the money that the Jamaican government would raise from the new all-inclusive hotels, tourism activities, would be enough to build all the roads needed in those rural parishes of Jamaica, such as St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. Ultimately, the government would need an international airport in the southwest of Jamaica to ease the pressure from off the Montego Bay airport. We have seen the chaos caused last week because of the closure of the Montego Bay airport for just a few hours. Some flights had to be diverted to Cuba as Kingston could not take all the planes. That should be a wake-up call for Jamaica in case something more serious happens to that runway in the future. Imagine how smooth things would be if flights could have been diverted to an airport in St. Elizabeth. The tourism industry is too crucial to the Jamaican economy for the country to be over relying on the one airport in Montego Bay. The revenue that the country would raise from employing 300,000 out of the 700,000 disengaged people in Jamaica would be enough to pay our teachers and nurses a 10% salary increase each year, stopping some of them from going abroad to work. We need our teachers and nurses to stay and help develop Jamaica rather than going abroad to work. However, it is the massive unused labor force that the government need to work on. That is the 700,000 disengaged Jamaicans. They are 25% of the country's population, a quarter, or 40% of the Jamaican working age population. Almost half people in Jamaica not working, they're hustling. Hence, instead of the government boasting about full employment, the government need to tackle the 40% of the working age population who are not in any formal employment in Jamaica. The government love to talk about uh, high skill people, like, in this technology and um, this high class job, we want to push high income earning, added value earning, all that stuff. Yeah, but you need a base first. There got to be a base first, because if you train those high class people to work, high grade jobs to work, when they finish getting training, they're gone abroad because you can't pay them. But if you work on the base, which is the massive of people who are employed in Jamaica, then you have at least have more income in the country. You can pay the, and then you can train people higher now to work in high class job. But first, deal with the base. Deal with the base first. And I think that the government, to stop these people from going into unemployment in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s, the government should have a massive tourism drive in Jamaica, around the country, where in the schools as well. So, because if you have 40% people who are unemployed in Jamaica in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, etc., then that tells you that you get those folks in the hotel industry when they leave high school. There should be a massive thing with the 2 years vocational, year 10 and year 11 in the high schools and secondary schools in Jamaica. So people can be trained to work in the tourism industry, and then that will be a big boost for people personal skills, like their communication skills, life skills, social skills. They will have learned all these skills if they go to work in hotel industry and large all-inclusive hotel, all around Jamaica and the South Coast as well, and then that would be them for the rest of their life, because they have spent 2 or 3 years working hotel industry. Afterwards, they can go into higher class job, higher skilled job, or into farming, but the government need to make the most of tourism industry. Also, as well, when the government fix the roads in the rural Jamaica, like St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth is the joint largest parish in Jamaica. The joint largest parish in Jamaica. Because St. Anne's is only like half a square mile bigger than Jamaica. That's nothing. And if you put the roads in St. Elizabeth, joining towns, you join up like Black River, join up with the highway from Black River to Santa Cruz, the highway to Junction, highway to Brompton, all the towns, the Lachovia, all the Magati, all the other towns and villages in St. Elizabeth, you need to have highways, dual carriageways between them. And then you will see a mass of diaspora like myself go back to Jamaica and start to buy land and build houses. Jamaicans who are living abroad because they can drive a car. We don't want to drive in bushes and bad roads. It's not safe. We want to see good roads from one town to the next town. And then you will see tens of thousands of Jamaicans coming back home each year, buying up lands and building up houses, the Jamaican diaspora. And they are coming back with their wealth. They come back with their £500,000, sell up their house and the lands, and £250,000. They will come back to Jamaica and building up the place. But you need the roads and street lights, because the diaspora don't want to come back driving in potholes and bushes on the street. They want to see nice roads because that's safer. It makes you feel safer, And it's a shame how I was born and grew in Black River, and I don't know St. Elizabeth. I don't know the parish fully. I don't know. I've never been to Lachovia or to Magati or Balaclava. We need highways so we can feel safe to come and drive up and down. So when you get the tourism industry in rural Jamaica, and build the roads, use the tourism funds to build the roads, and get the airport as well, because the plane fare is too high to Jamaica as well. So with the next airport, you can bring down the price of the airfare, because you can have more planes coming to Jamaica. And bear in mind as well that it is the Europeans who will take all the franchises to build the hotels all over St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. And those same Europeans, they are the ones who will make the deals with the airlines to bring the airplanes to St. Elizabeth to come to their hotels. And then those men will have extra tickets that will be sold. Some of them will have package holidays to go to the all-inclusive hotels in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland and Manchester. But then those men are going to have extra space. They will sell them cheap. So you will have more diaspora coming to Jamaica as well on those flights. It will be massive, because I know, because that's my experience. I know diaspora who is in Jamaica, who is in England, waiting for 6 months, 8 months for a cheap flight, because they ain't paying £800 to go to Jamaica. If it was £400, £500, they would go to Jamaica 3 times for the year. So it's massive. You need to use the tourism industry to build Jamaica. Use the tourism industry, build Jamaica, because the all-inclusive hotels is only half the story as well. Only half, because once you get the area developed, with say 6 all-inclusive hotels in each towns in St. Elizabeth, then you're gonna have a lot of Airbnb as well, and also local hotel owners as well. In St. Elizabeth right now in Black River as well, hotels are selling off. People are getting out of the business because there's no tourists there. You see, so people are investing their money. In the 1980s, when I was a teenager, I've seen people come from abroad, diaspora came back home to Jamaica, and build hotels in Black River and Parishes and those places, and they close down. The hotels are closed now. There's no tourists. There are less tourists now in Black River than there were in the 1980s. Because we can't compete with Montego Bay, because the government is building up Montego Bay and now Hanover as well and Ocho West. And they're going to put all the money, all the resources go to those areas. And they can't get hotel workers in those areas. Bring the hotels to where the parish is, and then you'll get more people working in the hotel industry, build up the country. 300,000 people in employment in Jamaica who are now idle. Imagine that. That will grow the economy by 10% each year, every year, for the next 10, 20 years. Thanks for watching today's video. To subscribe to my channel, please click on the button below, share this video, and leave your comments below. God bless you. God bless our Prime Minister. God bless Jamaican Parliament, and God bless Jamaica. Until my next video, peace.